Okay, so good morning, students. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Grishma, you are audible. Yes. Hello.
Okay, so students, today I am introducing you a guest lecture. That is Lakshmi B. She did her BTech from Mohandas College of Engineering, Trivandrum. After that, she did her MTech from IIT University. Right now, she is a PhD scholar in IIT Bombay. Okay, so she is an expertise in wastewater management, and she can definitely give you some collective informations. Okay, so I'm handing over to Lakshmi.
Thank you, Grishma. Hello. Grishma, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Shall I start then?
Okay, one second. Students, please
So,
post your name to mark your attendance. All of you, please post your names to mark your attendance. Okay, thank you. Okay, Lakshmi.
okay, and just Grishma, just few seconds. Can you help me just see whether my screen is shared? Okay. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Hello. Okay. Hello. So, any one of you, Grishma? Hello.
Hello.
You are able to see my screen, isn't it? Are you able
Yeah,
to
I
see
can
my
see.
screen, my presentation?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, now I'm making it as full screen. I'm going to the slide number 2. Are you able to see slide number 2? I just want to make sure. Now I'm in the second slide. Are you able to see my slide number 2? Hello. I'm in slide 1. So any one of you can, students, any one of you can just give me a reply whether are you able to see my second slide, which is degradation of Earth's natural wealth. Are you able
Yes,
to
miss.
see? Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, Grishma, I will take over.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And now I will just, yeah, shall I start or shall I wait for 2 more minutes to so that all students are there and just sharing on their screen. Okay, let me start then once. Yeah, yeah. Good morning, one and all. So I am going to start my presentation. So yes, I am Lakshmi. As Grishma told, after my post graduation, I have joined IIT Bombay in 2016. So my research topic is on wastewater treatment. So I will more focus on wastewater treatment today because my expertise is in that. I will give you a brief. So what on what is what wastewater treatment? What are the technologies? What are the current challenges? So if you have any doubts or if you have any questions, you can stop me in between. You can ask me anything if it is not clear. Okay. So yes. So I will just start. So before starting, I will just switch on my camera so that there is more bandwidth. Uh, I'm clearly audible, isn't it? All of you. Am I having a lot of background noise? Hello. Okay. Akshay. Akshay, am I having any background noise? My voice is clear. Can you, any one of you, please let me know if I am having a lot of background noise. Okay, you are having, I'm having a lot of background noise. Let me just. So, how about now, Akshay? Hello, Akshay. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, fine. So let me take my presentation forward. Yeah, so to topic of my presentation today is wastewater treatment in India, the state of art, and where do we go from here? Okay, so just to give you a background, so coming towards what are the current status or what are the challenges we face. Coming to fresh water, we have obviously dynamics of earth. Now we are extracting so much of resources from earth. We are so in terms of fresh water, biodiversity, land, soil. So we are dependent upon earth on various dimensions, various aspects. However, so on in that process, we are almost consuming lot of resources in terms, for example, fresh water. We have almost 20% of the world aquifer has overly exploited. Okay, now we cannot use those aquifers because it's already being used and no more. We cannot access those. Then poor water quality. In terms of water quality, it is affecting environment, not only environment but also our own health. Which in many places water is scarce. They don't have water access to good water. Okay, good quality water. In terms of soil, almost 52 percentage of agricultural land we have already exploited. Okay, this is a status of 2016 because this statistics is given by United Nations 2015 when they were creating United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. You might be knowing, I don't know how many of you know about UNSDG. So these are the studies of 2016, where almost 24 billion tons of fertile soil disappear each year. Okay, due to agriculture, due to use of excess fertilizers. So soil quality is deteriorating. Coming to land and forest, all many you know all these statistics. Many of you must have been reading newspapers and TV. So 24% of the world's land has been degraded since 1980s, and almost our tropical forest, half of the world's tropical forest have been covered. Okay, covered by human settlements and our developments. Then coming to biodiversity, many of the species has gone extinct, and around 50 percentage of species population has been extinct from 1970. And human activities have caused many mass extinctions and in earth. Okay, then not only earth is getting affected. Okay, we are also affected by these processes. Okay, once when we start exploiting many resources from earth, we are also facing many challenges. So in terms of water, biodiversity, soil, fresh land, forest. So for example, for fresh water, water scarcity affects almost 2 billion people on the earth. Okay, it's not a false uh, idea. It's actually true. Many places they not have water. They have to go in India itself. Okay, they have to walk 15-16 kilometers to get drinking water. Annual growth in least developed countries has declined from 2005 to 2014 now tremendously. This is again the statistics not by me or my colleagues. It's by United Nations. So it's around it's a vast declination in undergrowth in food supply as well. We are facing extreme poverty in many African countries. If you go and visit them, you will be like shocked to see their condition over there. Nearly 800 million people, not only in Africa, in India as well. Also, okay, in North Indian states, they are facing tremendous drought and poverty, extreme poverty. And 800 million people in the world is don't have access to adequate food. Then we are also facing environmental challenges. Almost half a 2 times half billion global urban population. It's almost mainly China and India. It includes the countries like China and India. We are almost inhaling 2.5 times levels of air pollution. Concentration of pollutants in the air is 2.5 times that is recommended by WHO for good water, good air to inhale. It includes cities like Delhi. even Bombay, many places of Mumbai where I stay. Our air, since in the campus we have many trees around us, but still if we go out, yeah, the air quality is very poor. Okay, NOx, SOx, all levels are very high, and we are breathing this very poor quality air. And in terms of electricity, nowadays we must be seeing how we are lacking. Import of coal is being reduced, so many challenges in our electricity. We are just started to have these challenges. Now coming to resilience, so obviously our environment or our ecosystem will have its own resilience. So again, because of the resilience, we are facing eutrophication, then natural disasters, floods, climate change, etc. Okay, just to give uh, background. Okay, now what is a linear economy? Okay, just give you a idea of so what is happening. Okay, because yeah, we are developing, our country is developing. There are many developed nations. Now we are trying to shift from a linear economy model to a circular economy model in terms of consumption. Okay, we are extracting raw materials, all raw materials, or through mining, through mobile phone which we use. We need all accessories for that phone which is being produced, and we are consuming, and we are using the phone, and then finally it goes to a landfill, which is after its end of life, it is going to a landfill. So true. So, but we are following a linear economy where we always take things and then use and throw. Okay, but now the new shift of paradigm is now we have to change this linear economy model to a circular economy model where we can reuse, recycle, etc. Okay, so where we for example, ultimately the overuse of the resources is down to the way that the economy and our production process have traditionally worked. So for example, which I am showing here, for example, we are shifting to packed products. If you see our own consumption patterns, for example, yes, 20, maybe 15 years ago, we used to have our milk in, milk will be delivered to us using glass bottles, but now it's in plastic, isn't it? So similarly, many consumer products we are using. We are using plastics. We are using all kinds of packed foods. So which are unnecessary. Which we now we are trying to look back at what are our what can be done in those area. So that's how we will shift to linear economy to circular economy. We have around 1.8 billion more middle class consumers. Obviously, if you say, oh, yeah, developed nations are consuming more, that is the truth. They are even consuming electricity almost 5 to 8 times every. You mean even from starting from a small safety pin to or electricity or any other consumer car, whatever we are talking about. But yes, once it comes to reduction in resources, all are under pressure, not only developed nations, developing nations. But yes, some of you may be feeling that why this pressure is on us because we are developing. But yes, but still because we have a large number of population, it will almost count. All these developing nations are almost count almost 50% more than the uh, whole world. So we account for that much population in the world. uh, so this is how a linear economy model works. But now, if you see, uh, uh, for example, this is just to showing how a product is coming from mining stage to its production, then coming to its supermarket, then we consume it, and it goes to the end of life. Okay, which is a linear economy model. But I am not talking about circular economy. It will be more complicated. So I will talk if at all we get a chance. We can talk about it later. So United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in 2015 has developed this Sustainable Development Goals or global goals, which is called global goals or Sustainable Development Goals, which is a 17 interlinked global goals designed to be blueprint to achieve a better, better and more sustainable future for all. So it is, we are also signatory to UNFCCC. So we are also committed to to do all the changes necessary to attain these goals. So goals, in essence, what are these goals? Since I'm not going to the class back, I don't know. Some of you, have you ever heard this SDG, or this is the first time you are hearing about SDG? So read about this, what is sustainable development goals of 2030. So we have to achieve these goals by 2030. Each goal is having each targets. So it is passed in 2015. So it is having like ecosystem, biodiversity. It will cover everything. Food supply. So the targets are like food supply. We have to cover. There are many targets. For example, in 2030, we have to give a good water quality for many. So India should attain good supply of good water to people. So that's how its targets are. There are many indicators to achieve the target. So water availability, education opportunities, energy in terms of so many production, ecosystem, inequality, then yeah, slums. It will cover so many aspects. Okay, multi-dimensional approach. Our air quality, pest control, climate change. We have to take measures to achieve a better environment and sustainable development. Okay, the term is sustainable development. So to achieve those, United Nations have passed these goals, which are, there are 17 goals, from no poverty to finally the partnerships for the goals. Okay, please go through this. It's a good reading material, good read for you guys. You have to see what are these things which India is trying to achieve. Okay, so how far we have reached, and okay. Now, yes, we are going towards urbanization, and we all want better environment, better healthcare, access to treated water, access to service, culture, education, job, transportation. Yes, we want all this. Okay. This is how we all perceive. Okay, we have to shift. All of us be thinking that we have to shift from villages to urban settlements so that we can have all this facility. But anyway, but there are many challenges. But to achieve this, only sustainable development can work. But there are many challenges which are we are facing, from lack of good quality space to air pollution. So we have many challenges. So today's topic is, now I want to cover is poor water quality, and how are we going to tackle those with technology, which you come into picture if at all you go for higher studies and environmental engineering. So so this is our focus area today of today's topic. Again, we have solid waste, air pollution, which I will not be talking today. Maybe you will be getting another lecture in later. Okay, now just go to now starting from water. Okay, water. So water can be drinking. So we are consuming water every day, but again we are generating wastewater. So first I will just focus on our drinking water aspect. So for drinking water, so we all know drinking water, how we are getting. There will be water treatment plant. So many impurities are there. So if we, for example, water will be sourced from any of the freshwater lakes, or from lakes we are sourcing water. For example, in Mumbai, there are many lakes in Mumbai, and we have around 3-5 water treatment plants around which they supply water, and in Kerala as well, we are sourcing from many dams, freshwater lakes. We are dams are providing in freshwater, but we have to anyway treat the water due to its suspended impurities, color, to remove some minerals. So calcium, magnesium, sodium, some trace metals will be there. uh, I'm talking about centralized water treatment. Many of places we are accessing to wells and other sources. So there will be some trace metals. For example, in Kerala, we are not facing. In many North Indian states, there are many traces of heavy metals. Okay, like iron, arsenic, etc., fluorides. So many of the challenges they face is they have groundwater, have many trace metals, which they are trying to treat by on-site treatment facilities like filtration and all. But many challenges are there. In Kerala, we are not facing those challenges in many places, but yes, there are a few places there are some challenges. Then we have to remove organics and pathogens. So we have centralized facilities. So coming to so how we are so what is the safe limit, or how we are going to identify what is drinkable water and what is not. So we have IS in Indian standard given by BIS, which is IS 10500 of 2012, which is a recent amendment which is happened in 2012. So it gives you what are the, I have just put only heavy metals here. Okay, so they give where can be how it can treatment, what are the treatment methods. For example, iron, if you want to remove iron from water, you use oxidizing filters, green sand mechanical filters, activated alumina. So these are some technologies which I want to just show you. Okay, how water is being. And in water treatment plant, there are many unique processes and operations where I'm not focusing right now, because I will be talking more about wastewater. So and there are I cannot cover all this area, so I will just skip. And So that's how in water quality monitor. That's how water standards are given by BIS. So we see the standards and see what are the sources where we can extract water. There are class A, class B, class C, class D. There are many classes where we see what are the quality of that water, then we can source and give appropriate treatment for that source and we can drink it. Okay, that's how in Indian rules work. So water quality coming to water quality monitoring. So India has Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. So under Indian Constitution, there are many acts and rules where governing this quality of water, discharge of wastewaters. So I'm not focusing on all rules and acts. So if you when you have time, please do read about these acts rules. So it we have to be it is useful for you in future. uh, Once you join anyway, many CS research rules, many developments have been made in recent years. Environment impact assessment rule, which is recent, you must be heard about it. Many regulations have newly emerged. There are some controversial comments on those as well, but still. So, yes, so it is governed. Water quality monitoring in India is governed under Water Act 1974. Okay, where CPCB is monitoring water quality of aquatic resources across the country. Uh, yes, CPCB is monitoring water quality across the country, and present water quality monitoring network comprises of 2,500 stations across the country. It involves 29 stations and 7 union territories, and they monitor many water quality parameters. So, so it includes, for example, physicochemical properties like pH, dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen. If you have any doubt in these terms, please do ask me. If you are hearing it for the first time, I think you must be already learned some of these terms in your environmental engineering course. But still, then this biological oxygen demand, then pathogens in terms of total coliforms and fecal coliforms, many parameters they monitor. They monitor almost 275 rivers out of 445 rivers, and it is under a national water monitoring program. So there are many, mission mode projects in India, which is under Ministry of MOEF and CC. That's how they monitor. So because they need the funding will come from those programs. Yes, so this is the background of our water treatment, what is urban development, what is challenges. Okay, so now coming to our focus area, which is treatment of sewages in India. Okay, so I'll just keep a track of my time. Just give 1 minute. Okay. Now, before going to this discussion, I have any one of you, do you have any question for me? I'm just, I will just stop here for 2 minutes. So if you have any questions, you please ask me. No, okay. Just, are you people not able to speak in this? You are able to speak, isn't it? Sri Lakshmi, Akshay, anybody have any questions? Because I'm seeing those names in front of my screen, so I'm just asking you. Okay, so I will go ahead with my presentation. Okay. Okay. Now, treatment of sewages in India. So, we are facing a lot of challenges in terms of treatment. Okay, treatment of sewages in terms of domestic waste. What I'm talking about is domestic wastewater. We have industrial wastewater and domestic wastewater. Two treatments we have to approach is differently because the pollutants present in sewage, which is domestic wastewater, and industrial wastewater, are different. Okay, for example, sewage is domestic, so in every household or every municipality which is generating sewage will have almost a similar water quality parameters. Okay, but in terms of industry, when we different types of industry will have different types of water quality parameters. For example, pharmaceutical industry or tannery. India has many industry. We are almost in, for example, states like Gujarat, Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu has a lot of tannery industries. So pharmaceutical, Madhya Pradesh is having a lot of industries. So every industry have different wastewater treatment, effluent treatment plants. Effluent treatment plants in the sense for treating the effluents from industries. Okay, so that is different from domestic wastewater treatment. So I am not discussing industrial wastewater treatment here, which is out of scope of my talk today. But just to give you a idea of what it is, I am just giving you this discussion on that. So we have many different treatment plants across the country, and if you go to CPCB, the Central Pollution Control Board website, you will find out many statistics on that. How many treatment plants? What are the so every we have limits for discharging for those wastewaters into the environment. So that is a different scope altogether. So now I will talk about treatment of wastewater, where you people will in future you people will be designing these water treatment plants or wastewater treatment plants or effluent treatment plants. So you have to have some background of what is the chemistry, what is happening, which also includes. I have gone through your syllabus, so when you will have a background in your graduate level. When you go to post graduation, so you will have more idea about what are these things. So this discussion is more like a higher level of discussion, but still it is very simple, nothing very complicated. So, but still, I am just giving you a brief idea of what it is. So in India, we have many challenges because we are, it is according to statistics of 2016-2017, we are generating almost 62,000 million liters, okay, of sewage every day. But however, we can only treat up to, we have a capacity of around 23,000 million liters. Uh, Many places, because these 62,000 million liters may be calculated based on the our population, but we have only sewerage network. So sewerage network, in a sense, centralized water treatment plants. Okay, many places, for example, many metropolitan cities in India have access to centralized water treatment plants, wastewater treatment plants. I'm not talking about water treatment plants everywhere it is, but centralized wastewater treatment plants. But many places they are not connected. Okay, if you see at our own homes, most of, if we are not in towns or city, it is not connected. We are just discharging into household septic tanks, which is not a good practice. We have to treat the wastewater, and then we have to reuse or recycle, because it will ultimately contaminate our groundwater. source many places is now facing because of septic tank discharges. Groundwater quality is depleted in a very high fold. Okay, many studies are now, without realizing it, we are drinking water from, because septic tank can cause pollution in the groundwater, and that groundwater is we are extracting through wells. So it's again a very challenging situation. uh, then we have many places. Open defecation is still there in India as well. Many, not only in India, Africa, many places, because they don't have access to water. That is a main challenge. So discharging. Then slums are there. For example, metropolitan cities like Mumbai. Then Mumbai, in Mumbai, slums are there. Still, they are connected to storage networks, but eventually many disease vectors are being uh, transported through these, because people are living together in a very close space, and poor water quality, and lack of water itself will cause so many health hazards to these. So just give you a brief idea of our municipal wastewater treatment not only in urban, metropolitan, class 1 and class 2 cities, because the class 1, class 2 metropolitan cities are classified in India based on their population. So if it is more than 1 million population, then it's a metropolitan city, and if it is more than a population between 1 million and 0.1 million, then it's class 1 city, and 0.1 to 0.05 million, it's a class 2 city. And we have a capacity. See, once we go from this class 1, this is a very old statistics, but just to give a brief, this when we go from metropolitan to class 2, if you can see how the treatment capacity is reducing. Like for example, for class 1 cities, it is 51 percentage capacity we are having, but now it has been reduced to 8 point, almost nearly only 9 percentage capacity we have for class 2 city, because we are not treating the water, either it is going to septic tank, or it is discharged to any surface water bodies. Okay. Yeah. Then coming to our topic of discussion today, which is sewage treatment plant and what are the technologies. So I will give you a brief of what it is. Okay, what is sewage treatment plant? What are the technologies which are biological treatment technologies? I am now focusing on biological treatment process, which is coming. I will just show you. Okay. So a simple sewage treatment plant will have many unit processes and operations. Okay, for it includes coming from a row. So for example, when we are generating our wastewater in our house. So wastewater, how we are generating? So we are, at households, our commercial buildings, malls. So all this wastewater. So I'm talking about centralized water treatment facility. Okay, so it will the raw wastewater is collected through sewage network, which you again that network design is another topic which you will be studying, I think. And when you are designing this, you have designing a wastewater treatment plant. We will design for around 30 years. So you have to study what is population forecast. So for example, today what is population for 30? So this wastewater treatment plant has to sustain for 30 years, isn't it? So when we are in 2021, and if we are designing for 2050, okay, for designing for this many years for 2050, so we have to, every year population is increasing. Okay, so according to Indian statistics, we are generating almost 135 liters per day per capita. Okay, so we are designing almost, so we have to design, so we have to forecast the population, and we have to calculate, okay, year by year this much water can come, this much capacity, this much water will come in excess. So we have to design the treatment plan accordingly, which you will learn in population forecasting and all, which I'm not talking about that here. Just give me 1 second. Just hold on. Uh, yeah. Yeah. So coming to unit processes and unit operations in a wastewater treatment plant, which is in India we generally call it STP, which is waste treatment plant. So raw wastewater is coming into the treatment plant where we give a primary or preliminary treatment, okay, which includes many screens. After through screening, coarse screen, fine screen, then they go to the clarifier. Sometimes we add a coagulants and flocculation. Flocculation and coagulation will be there. Then after flocculation and coagulation, they will undergo. So when flocculation and coagulation will happen, which you will study, what are the principles of flocculation, coagulation in type 1 settling, type 2 settling. So these are the principles and principles of these tanks or treatment processes which you will be learning in your course, in your bachelor's itself. So after settling, they will go for settling will happen in primary settling zone, which is called primary clarifier. So after settling that, in this stage, which is a preliminary phase, okay, in preliminary phase you almost see a pollutant. So whenever you talk about pollutants in wastewater in general, we talk about chemical oxygen demand or biological oxygen demand or suspended solids. Suspended solids are solid, which are solid particles. So dissolved solids, which are basically it is again all these measurements. I don't know how much you understand about suspended solids, dissolved solids, POD, COD. Just to give you a brief, these are some of the pollutants which we have to identify how much to is treated, how much it is removed. So in primary settling, we can remove almost nearly 80% of the suspended solids, but biological part or is yet to be removed. So it is 30% will be removed in the primary phase. Okay, then when it is then it has to be given a biological treatment. Okay, after primary treatment, we have to go for a biological treatment. So, going after biological treatment, again, some clarification is required so that that again suspended solids and sludge can be removed. Then, after secondary treatment, it is going to filtration, disinfection, which is the tertiary treatment. Okay, then the clean water effluent can be either reused based on the water quality. For example, in industries, they using what they do is STP. They give a very good treatment, and and we have rules and regulations governing those. They have to use their treated water in their, for example, ETP. They treat their water, then they use it in the process industry by themselves. Okay, so they reuse the water. So in many places like Germany or Singapore, they have very good treatment plan for sewage treatment, and they use reuse water and very high end purpose. For example, in India, we have reached up to gardening and floor washing, these kind of things for flushing. Many of the Mumbai commercial buildings have sewage treatment plants, and we use this treated water for flushing. So many places now rules and regulations are come up with stringent rules that we have to reuse this treated water. So clean effluent, either many places it's been discharged to sea, creeks as well, or any surface water bodies, and it will cause deterioration of those water bodies. So yes, so that is a very brief background of this sewage treatment plant. And if you talk about, there are different types of technologies available. Okay, for example, if I'm talking about this biological process, mostly in primary and secondary, most of the unit operations and processes are similar, but coming to the secondary treatment, which is biological processes, there are many technologies available. So this discussion, I will just brief you what is all those technologies, just give you a brief idea. Then, as I have talked on primary treatment, there are many physical-chemical process treatment technologies are there. For example, oil and grease. We first remove oil and grease. If it is kitchen waste, if it is any restaurant wastewaters, so many oil and grease level will be very high. So we have to remove those. But anyway, any normal sewage treatment plant will have a oil and grease removal system. Then they have screen and grit removal. Then flocculation, sedimentation, where this again you add a flocculant, okay, or a coagulant into the water. Then it will undergo flocculation and coagulation based on the principles of Stokes law, which you will be learning. It will settle, and it depending upon the course on fine particle, it will go undergo type 1 settling or type 2 settling, type 3 and type 4. There are four types of settling. And it will under after a sedimentation there, it will go to the secondary treatment. So you can use plate settlers, tube settlers is just terms, just to give a brief idea on what are these things. Then that is about primary treatment. Then coming to classification of biological treatment systems. So many biological treatment systems are there. Aerobic, anaerobic, or combination of the both. Aerobic means we are using oxygen for treatment purpose. Anaerobic, we are keeping oxygen away. Okay, so that anaerobic bacteria can work on waste and degrade and give products. In aerobic system, oxygen is the terminal electron acceptor, which again I will just talk about, give you a brief what is this all about. Okay, so STPs. Then there are many combinations of biological treatment systems. For example, it can be suspended, it can be attached, it can be combination. So many treatment systems are there. Anaerobic as well. So these are the technologies in suspended growths. There can be activated search process. These all are secondary treatment systems I'm talking about. It can be an activated search process. It can be membrane bioreactors. It can be aerobic lagoons. For example, attached growth, you will find trickling filters, rotating biological contractors, many of these technologies. In a combination, you can find out fluidized bed. It is both a combination of suspended and attached growth. uh, in suspended growth of anaerobic, it can be USA afro anaerobic starch blankets or anaerobic filters. In attached growth systems, it can be anaerobic starch digesters, anaerobic contact reactors, biogas reactors, etc. Biogas, you already know many of our in municipalities providing these small bio reactors at home. If you must have noticed, many of our homes already have it, but it's just the same technology but in a large scale, okay, for centralized facility. We have these decentralized systems at our own homes, but I'm talking about large scale, how it will work. So many of the industries which when why we are so anaerobic is a very slow process, but very high pollution loads. Only anaerobic can handle. Aerobic cannot handle. So such time as during such time we are dependent upon anaerobic technology. But yeah, operation and process control is very challenging for anaerobic systems. Then we have combinations in anaerobic system as well. Then we have again, okay, that's a same slide. Then just to give you what is a wastewater treatment plant. Okay, so we have, as I have told you, there is a primary settling. So in the primary settling phase, almost all it's physical chemical processes happening. Okay, there is no much biological degradation happening. So just to give science behind what is activated starch process, I am just giving this pictorial representation. So there is an aeration tank where your microbes will be present in the aeration tank. Then when here all the reaction happen, you put your wastewater, clarified wastewater from primary clarifier into this reactor. It's a reactor basically, and you treat your wastewater using microorganism in the reactor. Then you give it to next clarifier. Okay, the design of this clarifier. So you can so when you study this, you will be asked to design these clarifiers, activators, circuits. I don't know how much you study in bachelor's, but here we have a dual degree program at IIT Bombay where there is a environmental science and engineer. It is BTech MTech dual degree. So civil also, we for civil engineering we have another course which is ES200, where we give a brief on all this uh, all these technologies, but a brief idea like I am talking to you now. So yes, so a graduate level program. So you will be learning all these in your graduate level itself. So how to design a few of these components as well, like clarifiers and activator sludge tanks. Maybe I'm not sure, but yes. So this is again, it's a circular. So it's just uh, a flow sheet to show what is happening. Then clarified water is given to again a next clarifier, which is secondary clarifier, and where they remove this sludge. Sludge is basically the, you know, these microorganisms and the solids which is settled in the clarifier, and remove the sludge and given to a digester for further process. And effluent is discharged, which is treatment effluent for a secondary treatment. Okay, so just coming, so what is this technology? How this is developed? Just to give what is the history behind it. Okay, when we are talking about, maybe you will be learning these ones once you just stand here 1 second. It's not happening. I don't know. I don't know. It's not going to the next slide. Okay. Are you able to see? Anyone of you, can you please unmute yourself and tell the next slide? Are you able to see? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, okay, thank you. Yeah. So just give a history. Okay, it's like a story. You can just hear. I just want to share it with you. So it's a so in the beginning of 19 not 19 1870s. Okay, in England. So what happened is, this is how wastewater treatment first emerged, or first as a technology, activated such processes, first technology, and now, and it's a very, this is the first and foremost technology, and till now this technology we are using in, we are using. Many challenges are there for activated search process, but still it is like, you know, it's a pioneer, we can say. It's like a, you know, uh, it's a new invention, and it is done by uh, Edward Ardham, which is, he was a chemist in Manchester wastewater treatment plant, and William Lockett, along with William Lockett and Edward and William has found this technology in 1930s in their lab. This is on the background, how it came. In England, when during 1870s, so there were many challenges in England. Okay, people, what they used to do, they used to throw the wastewater in, you know, streets and in their places where they stay, and lot of health hazards or health related diseases emerged during that time. Okay, so that's how, at the time, England was a country with probably most urgent problems in water pollution. Because of this, then population and industry was advancing during that time. There, industrial, industrialization was happening, and an unhygienic and, practices at the country, and many hygiene related problems, health hazards. So the industry was demanding clean water. There was, so this is how in 19th century, uh, these kind when technology, they were searching for technology, and how this is came up in 1870s, and they come up with this invention, and it's just it was just a laboratory setup. It happened in a small lab with few drums and reactors. uh, Many of you, if you go in future studies, you will be working on different technologies in laboratory, like in future, if you are interested in research and development. So yes, that's how this uh, plan come up, and that's how this process was evolved. And coming to the basic components of this activated search process, so there will be a reactor in which a microorganism will be responsible. So basically, microorganism will consume this organic matter, which is basically, so what does the wastewater contains? Okay, it is a food waste, which we, whatever we are eating, it is, we are absorbing all minerals and nutrients from food. But again, it is excreted. And that comes as part of wastewater, where it contains many products like urea, uh, biological oxygen demand of these organic compounds in wastewater is a main pollutant, where microorganisms will are able to digest those organic compounds. Organic compounds will have carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, phosphorus, because these are the main components of this organic matter. So microorganism will be able to process these, and they convert it into carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so that's how from wastewater treated water is generated. Okay, so then yes, there is solid sedimentation liquid removal unit, recycle system to return solids into the reactor, because we have to maintain when after the reactor, after this unit which I was showing you, it goes to clarifier, but we have to return some of the microorganism back to the reactor. Other, we have to keep a microorganism to this organic matter ratio, okay, which is called COD to MLSS or BOD to MLSS ratio, which we have to science behind that is the this one. We have to keep a ratio in the reactor, so that enough microorganism is there in the reactor to digest those organic matter. Okay, so yeah, so these flock okay, these are the technical terms. So if you go to the microbiology in civil engineers, you have to study this in future as well. If you go to higher studies, if you join any company where you will be joining as a for designing of these plants, or uh, uh, obviously you have to know this chemistry and microbiology behind these, so that when the problem arises, when there is some problem in the treatment plan, if treatment plan is not working properly, then you have to tackle. Okay, so that time you have to understand what is the chemistry and biology behind these unit processes. So in activated research process, mainly, so what is happening inside that treatment unit? There are different kinds of microorganisms. Okay, there are fluidized, they're mixed growth, they want aerobic because it is an aerobic reactor. They want oxygen, because if you see the reactions, I am not going as some reactions I will be showing you, but they use oxygen. So microorganism will utilize oxygen to oxidize these organic compounds to give carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so their substrate, the organic material in the wastewater is their substrate. So for example, if you see if I tell you about how simple I can show you, for example, is for example a plant. Okay, so plant can make their own food from atmosphere, because yeah, because carbon dioxide they absorb, and it is they absorb carbon dioxide, and all the nutrients or whatever required for plant growth they are making by themselves. But here what happens, microorganism, when the food for microorganism is organic matter. So by consuming organic matter, they can multiply. So it's like that. For us, food is yeah, food, but for them it is these organic matter in wastewater. So that's how we utilize this microorganism. So and they synthesize new, they undergo microbial respiration and synthesize new cell. And many types of so there are in wastewaters there are many useful group of bacteria, and not useful. They may be hindering the process as well. So many challenges will happen in activated search process because of the presence of the bacteria or those elements. Just to give you a brief, there are different types of bacteria, protozoa, class of organisms. Not these all are not bacteria. Bacteria is one class where heterotrophic bacteria is mostly engaged in degradation. But then going other kinds of include protozoa, metazoa, filamentous bacteria, algae, and fungi. And these are the major five organisms, microorganisms present in active research process. Many filamentous, many of these help, and sometimes they are also harmful. Not harmful in the sense they become a disadvantage. So you have to identify if some process modification is needed or not. Then there are some biological processes happening in this treatment when the treatment is happening. Okay, for example, carbon oxidation, nitrification, denitrification, biological phosphate, and some transformation degradation of some specific pollutants, okay, some transformation processes, which I will not go into detail. For example, carbon cycle. So, as atmospheric carbon cycle, we have already learned this in our plus two classes. Okay, just remember those how carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, many cycles we have learned. Similarly, in the reactor also, these kind of cycles is happening. Okay, for example, uh, this is our organic matter, which is CH2ON. Okay, it is N matlab it is it's a it's a long chain because it's for example uh, glucose. If you're talking about glucose, then it is just C6H6 sorry C6 H12O6. Okay, but when we are talking about many organisms, so there will be many chained organic molecules or small molecules, whatever it is. So once organic molecules are there, okay. So how it is? There is respiration happening for this is photosynthesis, which is just to give you an idea. So, for example, plant what plants is doing, it will take up carbon dioxide and make this molecule. Okay, they are, for example, if you eat some cheera or any other food, obviously this how it came through carbon cycle only through photosynthesis. We are reversing this in our reactor, okay, by degrading it using a microorganism, and it undergo respiration. When microorganism undergo respiration, so so here it is just making process, here it is uh, it's degradation which is happening in a reactor. Okay, it's reverse, we are reversing it, so that this is the chemistry behind what is happening in the non-activated surge reactor. Then this is about carbon, but we are not only having carbon organic compounds, we have nitrates, we have phosphates, okay, but their conversion happens on different chemistry. For example, for nitrification, so these occur this cycle occur by heterotrophic bacteria. Specific heterotrophic bacteria are there, but nitrification, for example, ammonia so urea ammonia, which is there in wastewater, which is we have to convert it, finally that product has to convert it into nitrogen gas. Okay, so for or nitrogen fixation, either N2O, which is nitrates, we so that plant can take up those nitrates. So to convert these, there are many bacteria involved. For example, nitrosphere and nitrosomonas, which convert ammonia to nitrite. This nitrite is converted into nitrate by nitrobacter. So these are the some of the reactions happening. Then that nitrate is converted into nitrogen gas uh, in denitrification process. Okay. So this is the chemistry or some of this. Then again, phosphates. There are many. I'm not talking about phosphates here. There are many other degradation process for phosphates as well. Then there are many operational challenges in these reactors. For example, there is I'm not talking. I will not. There are bulging of slurs. There are nocardia. There is another bacteria which, if that bacteria is present in this thing, nocardia form can be form will form, and oxygen dissolution in the reactor may not happen. So there are the few challenges which will happen during reactor operations. Then there are many modifications which in due course of time during past years to increase efficiency of these activated sludge process. There are extended aeration systems. It's nothing but long aeration tanks, long reactors are there. High, for example, in an activated sludge process, we give continuous air supply, and retention time of wastewater inside the reactor, that is retention time, what is it meant is water will we have to keep water for a specific period of time inside the reactor. Okay, so that time is almost 6 hours. In extended aeration system, we give longer retention times, longer higher aeration, more aeration. Long reactors, design of reactor is different. So such process modifications are there to increase the efficiency of such reactors. Just to give you a brief. Then we have another. Okay, now we just come about not only activated stress process. There are different. I will just show you the picture and talk. So there is another. This is an oxidation ditch reactor, which is again it's called a stabilization pond or lagoon. It is called, okay. So here wastewater treatment is again another technology where we treat wastewater through interaction of sunlight, bacteria, and algae. So here bacteria will be there along with bacteria. Uh, Algae will be also there. So water will flow like in a this circular manner. Okay, like one place to another. These are just I mean, this will rotate. Can you see these blue rails which help in rotating water inside the reactor? So again, because it also it's a shallow pond. It's very shallow. It's not very huge depths are not there. For example, in uh, I mean, it is not having that much depth as that of activated stress process, so that light can reach till the bottom, so that algae it will be able to algae is used. So I am not going to say talk about more on principle of behind, just to make understand that it's different technology where algae and along with microorganism algae are also used in such systems. There are these mechanical aerators are there are these are aerators as well. They give air. So these rails are also able to give air. So oxygen is supplied from the bottom as that of activated stress process. Oxygen is supplied from diffusers from the bottom of the tank, okay. So that a microorganism will be able to degrade those. Okay, then this is another technology which is now coming to sequential batch reactor. So in activated process is a continuous reactor. Okay, continuous means water will flow continuously in the reactor with a retention time of around 6 to 8 hours. Yeah, six. Sometimes it can be designed for 4 hours as well. But in SBR, which is sequential batch reactor, is a fill and draw kind of activated source system in which water is added to a single, for example, 10,000 liters is added in the reactor. Then after a specific time, after the treatment, it is taken out from the reactor. So it have different cycle like fill, react, settle, draw, then idle. After that, then we again fill. So there are specific cycle time for these reactors. I wanted to, okay. These are the secret. This is just a give you. So if when you just for your for your BTech thesis, if you are able to on your project, if you're selecting such topics, you may have to visit these plants and see how this is working. And there are another technology which I will just keep, which is rotating biological contractors. Again, it's a treatment system where a series of large plastic discs is mounted on a horizontal shaft where we so what happens is this shaft, these are the so here bacterial film will grow in this shaft. So it is continuously rotating, so half of the time it is inside the liquid. So the bacteria will treat this wastewater, then again it will go to air in suspension, so it can able to access air so completely. So it is not having any air distribution system from below like activated stress process. Instead, it is rotating all the time. It's a different. Okay, now let me just show you. Just to give. I don't know. I don't know. You people want this demo or shall I go ahead? You people want to see a wastewater treatment plant? It's a Switzerland. It's a treatment plant in Switzerland. It's a very good example. Otherwise, I will just put it in the chat box so that you people can visit later. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Please see this because I don't have time for reviewing because already I have consumed a lot of I have only 15 minutes, so I want to just go through. Otherwise, if we have time in the next session, we can just go through it. Then no, we have these all are decentralized. What I was talking about is centralized water treatment facilities. Okay, large water treatment facility in millions of liters they are treating Okay, but now coming to decentralized wastewater treatment, there are many decentralized wastewater treatment systems. I will talk about natural treatment system, which is very close to my heart because I am doing my doctoral research in this. So there are many natural treatment systems which are decentralized. They may not have capacity of million MLDs. It will be less than MLD, zero point 0.5 MLD or 0.25 MLDs. So it can go up to that because it consumes. It is having large footprints for this kind of decentralized wastewater treatment systems, especially natural treatment systems take large space. So that's how many of the times often the challenges are space. For example, metropolitan cities, we don't have space for large treatment plants. So we go for modular treatment plants like MBBR, which I did not talk about, moving bed biological reactors or MBR, which are advanced. MBR is type of an advanced treatment system, which I did not discuss here due to time constraint. But when you study about it, you will understand it more. Then we have national treatment system, which are decentralized treatment systems. There are many engineered systems. So what are these? These treatment systems are nothing but they are based on phytoremediation or bioremediation or hybrid systems where they utilize rhizosphere phytodegradation phytoextraction. So they use properties of plants and soil consortia or their processes. So nature has its innate capacity to remediate waste. For example, our wetlands which we see, they already after when pollution is given to those wetlands, after some time automatically there is some treatment happening. Okay, even though there is no external microorganism or indigenous microorganisms, they have so the microorganism or the system present there itself is trying to, it's kind of resilience of the ecosystem. So such principle, so that is the principle behind phytoremediation, which they use principle of nature itself to treat these. Okay, such technologies are, which I just give you a brief, where duckweed ponds are there, which uses in duckweed ponds. There was again. Are you able to see my next? Okay. So duckweed ponds. So this is a duckweed pond in Wazirabad, Delhi. So it's one of the. So what is okay? What will happen? These wastewater treatments don't have don't have direct economic return. Okay, with centralized treatment facilities, we treat wastewater, then it is being discharged. Now, as of present, uh, in today's scenario, from wastewater treatment plant, industries are not buying. But in many countries, the scenario is different. From wastewater treatment plant, once treatment, very high treatment quality is achieved, these water can be sold to industries. Okay, so in India, at least so far we have not reached that stage, but yes, there is scope and we are moving towards that. But coming to decentralized wastewater treatment plants, so we are looking into some technology where we can get some economic return. Okay, so economic return in a sense, for example, duckweed ponds. So these duckweeds, so it's able to take up these nutrients and nutrients from the wastewater, and bacteria will remove organic matter, and this duckweed can be given for uh, fish, given for aquaculture, that is for gazing fish or other aquatic organism, which the farmers can make this as an economic return. Okay, such technology is available. But nowadays, again, I will tell you more about this. What are the challenges behind those technologies again? Okay, so once these are some of the technology which is, so duckweed technology is a one such technology where direct economic return is possible. Then we have another technology which is waste stabilization ponds, which treatment is given in a series. For example, there is an anaerobic pond, then there is a facultative. Facultative meaning there is in lower depths there will be no oxygen, but there will be a concentration of low oxygen. That is facultative ponds. Then there is anaerobic, a stage wise treatment. Anaerobic followed by facultative, followed by aerobic. Then it is given to a fish pond. So like that, the stage wise treatment system. So again, there are many. These decentralized treatments are successfully applied in many places. Such a example is in West Bengal. Uh, then there are many other examples are there. Then sewage fed agriculture. It's again an similar kind of technology where treated wastewater is given to a fish pond where so it's kind of a two system where fishes are reared in inlet water, and then it is treated and then it is given. Okay, where fish we are that fish we may eat, then now there are problems with those. I will talk about it in coming slides. Now, for example, sewage, sewage. These are how these treatment system. There are unit processes like these are sewage taken into canals. It's kind of like canals, and it's fed into canals. Then there is fish ponds, and then treated sewage. So this is one of the I mean demonstrations of sewage fed aquaculture in India. Then there are the constructed wetland technology. Again, it's a different technology which it's my focus area where we treat wastewater using constructed wetlands. It's like a symbiotic relationship between plants, microorganism, and bacterial film is there in and around the media, and wastewater is treated with the help of plants and microorganisms. So this is all about technology. I have given a lot of information. I don't know how much you perceive, and it may be. You please write to me if you have any questions or any comments on this. Just to give a brief on all these technologies. This is what happening. Okay, in conventional wastewater treatment plants. And so there are many challenges on conventional wastewater treatment plants, like activated such process is one of the conventional wastewater treatment plant we are using around the country. There are many stages, like I have already told you, a pre-treatment where solids or grease or oil is removed, then coming to primary treatment where solids again TSS and COD, some part of COD is removed, then biological treatment where nutrients or organic matter is able to remove, and disinfection where pathogens are removed. Then many now we are then again sludge is treated, and that sludge is after sludge treatment it is given to agriculture. Many places it is given to agriculture, or after dewatering the sludge it may go to landfills as well. So yes, so the now the present challenges is the present of micropollutants in this. So once this treated water is fed into, for example, aquaculture, now we are find out many challenges in terms of micropollutants. So these waste, once it is disposed to surface waters or any other sources, we are facing eutrophication, loss of biodiversity. So these are happening. Okay, these are not just the pictures, but what happens, for example, if you see many inland surface waters, for example, in Kerala, many lakes or canals have been deteriorated due to the discharge of waters or anthropogenic activities in and around the lake or canals. For example, in Mumbai, we have many places treated waters are discharged into many rivers, and the river water quality is so much deteriorated. These events happen in Bangalore, Mumbai, where a lot of fish kills you can see at a time. And not only that, again, there are many challenges associated with the treatment of wastewater, where main challenge nowadays, which is the current research and development is happening in this area on wastewater treatment. So technologies are there now. Exploring technologies is on one side, and the other side is the challenges like micropollutants. Micropollutant in a sense where we are using pharmaceutical pesticides. Industries are using many chemicals in our day-to-day life. So these are we, for example, for example, pharmaceutical which paracetamol which we are having. 90% of the paracetamol is not absorbed in our body. It is discharged into wastewater and it is going to wastewater treatment plant, and it is not completely removed. It is going to the surface waters when they are discharged. Then it is going to fish, or for example, microplastic. You must be reading issues with microplastic. So it is getting bioaccumulation and biomagnification in the process. Okay, so these are the many challenges. If you just to highlight, you give a brief idea what it is. So this was a study by University of Waterloo, where they have studied these fishes. Okay, they are called rainbow darters. So these fishes, they continuously monitored these fishes for around 1.5 years. They just studied, these fishes were introduced into a creek where wastewater is discharged, treated wastewater is discharged. Okay, I am not talking about untreated, it is treated wastewater. So there, see, there, because of the presence of endocrine disruption, endocrine disrupting compounds in wastewater, their morphology itself got changed. In the right hand side, if you see, this is how it is affecting ecology or environment or our ecosystem. Industrialization or urbanization is not only affecting these these organisms, but finally it will, when we are eating those, it will. There is no study. A few studies are there, but still they are not able to prove much in human health. But still, yes, so now I will just come to my conclusion of this first session. Okay, now after this session, I will have a small tutorial session where we can just have a discussion on. Uh, yeah. So yes. So if you see, I wanted to show this picture as my last slide of this presentation, second last slide of my presentation. No, again, it's okay. Are you able to? Some of you are able to see. You are able to see my slides, right? Okay. So, does anyone know what is it? It's called Earthrise. Okay, it was taken. It said that it was taken in 1968 by Apollo, by NASA. But I don't know. It's controversial topic. They are saying it's not taken by Apollo, but anyway, it's just a graphical representation. But yes, it's called Earthrise. Okay. So I just want to make a note on this. This is the first photograph on Earth taken from space, which is not strictly true. I'm also not sure, but we always have this as a very good, mesmerizing pictures, one of the mesmerizing pictures and most influential environmental photographs ever taken. It shows that Earth is alone in the black void of space, which underlines the idea that Earth is our only home and sole provider for all our needs and resources, and we have to look it after a great care. Okay, so that's what I just wanted to conclude with this presentation. So we have 17 global goals which we have to attain in from 2030. We hopefully at least we could attain it in near future. So our technology development will help to go forward with uh, more sustainable development in terms, not only in terms of treatment of wastewater in all aspects, from poverty to partnership. So this is how I want to conclude the first session of the presentation. I think I have to take a break here. Then let us come back. Okay. So I think 20 minutes you can take a break. Then we will just let me. I will just stop presenting. Okay, I will be here. Now you can, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. If you have anyone, you please, I will be here. You can just ask me. The rest of you can take a 20 minutes break and come back. Okay. I hope you. I am not giving you a lot of technical information and making this presentation more. Let me. We always have to have a one-on-one discussion, but again, time is another. Okay. No questions. Nobody. Okay, then we can come back after 20 minutes. Okay, I will start my next brief at 11:20. Oh, sorry, I have taken more time. Okay, 11:20. We can come back after 11:20.